business.
Leave the plane this evening. Let's give our CEO, Joanna, another round of applause. Thank you, Joanna.
I'm so excited because today I'm at Terminal C at Orlando Airport and I'm flying on JetBlue, something new. Out of all the airlines to choose from, I'm on JetBlue, and I'm starting my journey in a terminal that I've never been in, Terminal C in Orlando. Having flown for the older Terminals A and B for decades, I am amazed by the beauty of this new terminal. It bears zero resemblance to A and B, which is around 45 years old. Terminal C opened in 2022, and it looks like it for sure. Bright, airy, and modern. I'm in complete awe. Gorgeous terminal this is. I'm headed right to TSA because I don't have a bag to check. That's the JetBlue check-in area over there. It looked so inviting that I almost wanted to stop there, but there is no reason to because I don't have any bags. JetBlue is the only domestic carrier in Terminal C. All of the other airlines are foreign carriers. There's also a few more foreign carriers in the A and B area, but the bulk of them are here. I'm going to head on over to the TSA checkpoint, so bear with me for one moment. I'll see you on the air side. Okay, I'm done with TSA. I'm working my way to the central area. You can see from the overhead sign that this concourse is home to gates C230 to C254. Today, my gate will be to the right, gate 237. I'm blown away by the beauty of this terminal. It's my first time. I'm so used to the A and B terminal where Delta is. This is just completely different. Wow. This space is bright and airy and exceeded my expectations. I'm going to head over to the north side because that's where my JetBlue A320 is. Along the way, I made a stop to look out onto the ramp. This terminal is used very heavily by international carriers. Behind me, there's Iberia, GOL, Iceland Air, flights going all over the world. Today, my destination is exactly where I want to be. New York, LaGuardia. Today, I'll be arriving in Terminal B there. It's been a really long time since I've been to Terminal B. Now, by default, my seat is on the right-hand side of the airplane. That's all that's available. Let's see what happens. I do have a seat towards the front of the aircraft. That was actually not deliberate at all. There were no seats in the back. Right now, I'm focusing on price, and the seats in the back of the aircraft were at a lower price point. However, all that was available was toward the front, so I had to pay a little bit more. It is what it is. And here she is, November 523 Juliet Bravo, a classic JetBlue A320 called Born to be Blue. It's an older one, built 25 years ago but painted in the new livery. It has the older interior, however. Only 11 JetBlue A320s are considered to be classic like this one. Most of their A320s have been restyled. The airline has also newer A321s and A220s. All set to board. Today my boarding group is zone number 3. And of course our air traffic control call sign today is quite simple. It is what the airline is, JetBlue. Let's get on board. I used to fly JetBlue a lot when David Neeleman started it, and now I fly David's new airline, Breeze, quite regularly. It was nice to be back on board a JetBlue plane. It's been a few years. Today, I'm in an extra legroom seat near the front with a seat on the right-hand side of the plane with hopes of flying northbound up the Hudson River on a right downwind leg for runway 22 at LaGuardia. The winds should favor a configuration with runway 22 being the landing runway and runway 13 being the departure runway, keeping arrivals from the south like us west of LaGuardia on the downwind leg, and hopefully we'll fly up the Hudson River, keeping Manhattan on the right side. We're all set to push back and taxi to the runway. It'll be a long taxi, as our departure runway will be on the other side of the airport. Now, I didn't film that much of the terminal because of an interesting circumstance. As I was filming myself talking, a viewer of my channel came to introduce himself to me. But instead of carrying on a conversation, he led me directly to a lady who was seated at the gate area to introduce me to her. And being a fan of this industry, I knew who she was. It was Joanna Geraghty, who happened to be the CEO of JetBlue. It was an honor to meet her, and it turned out that she was going to be aboard my flight. It's funny because the day before this flight, I read an article that featured her regarding JetBlue's downsizing at LaGuardia, and together we'll be flying to LaGuardia today. Once a larger operation at LaGuardia, today JetBlue just has 3 year-round and 1 seasonal destination. But here in Orlando, well, it's a base for JetBlue. The CEO's entourage was a bunch of high school students who were down in Orlando visiting JetBlue down here, and they were returning to New York. It turns out that the students happen to be from the same high school that I graduated from, and that even included her son. So at the gate, I spent quite a bit of time chatting with the CEO and the students. It's been a long time since I graduated high school, so the conversation was great. It turned out that the person who recognized me was from the school and in charge of the group, so that's why I didn't film that much in the gate area. It was a great experience to talk to everyone. They're all now scattered throughout this A320 as we head to LaGuardia. Our taxi path took us from the west side of the airport, where there are 2 runways, to the east side of the airport, where there are also 2 runways. It was a long taxi, but we'll be using the East Runway complex, specifically runway 35 left, since that runway better suits our initial climb out of the airport as we head to the north towards New York City. The parallel runway, runway 35 right, is being used for arrivals. I've got the sun in my eyes now, but we're about to turn the corner and make a U-turn and enter the runway. Departure traffic was very light at the time of our takeoff. We had no one in front of us, and we were issued takeoff clearance without even coming to a stop on the runway. I'm disappointed that I have the engine in the way, especially for the landing view, but I'm excited to hear the sounds that this A320 makes as we add power bound for New York. Upon initial climb, we start a right turn, something that would not have been possible if we took off on the runway right next to our terminal. What I like about this turn is that I get to see the runways of the airport's eastern side. Our initial climb brings us to the northeast, and the airspace is designed so that we remain clear of arrivals to Orlando. An example of this is this Norse Dreamliner from Gatwick that's approaching Orlando from the northeast.
Captain, turn off the seatbelt sign. Once the seatbelt sign has been turned off, you need to use the restroom. Please wait and see until one is available.
As we continue to our cruising altitude, I'm looking out for anything I can identify. There goes the Daytona International Speedway and the Daytona Beach International Airport, and just beyond it is the city of Daytona Beach. A little further up, I saw the Flagler Executive Airport in Palm Coast, and after that I had a nice view of Flagler Beach. Once out over the Atlantic, I spotted an Air Transat A321 descending from Montreal to Orlando. I love this stuff out the window, but this is a very special flight because the CEO of JetBlue was on board. She introduced herself in the PA system once everybody boarded, and she promised that she'd be giving away tickets to some lucky passengers later in the flight. This is known as JetBlue Seat Bingo, and it's been going viral on the internet in recent weeks. It's been happening on flights where either the CEO or other JetBlue executives are on board, although it's not guaranteed. Well, before we hit the New York City area, the CEO walked up to the front, took over the PA system, and surprised and delighted 3 lucky passengers.
Okay, folks, wanted to make sure before we landed we did that free ticket giveaway. So I've got a random picker up here. We've got 25 rows on the aircraft, and seats A through F. I'm going to pick a letter and a number, and whoever is seated in that seat is going to win a free ticket on JetBlue. A couple rules. If you switch seats with somebody, the person seated in the seat at the moment we win is going to be the winner. And if you're flying on a buddy pass or non-rev, you are not eligible. So yeah, we want to make sure our revenue customers. All right, let's go. Okay, row 1, you're in play. 1E, you're a winner. 1E, oh 1E, yes, 1E, yes. Each row, no. No, we'll do 3 ticket giveaways. All right, so 1E, perfect. All right. We're going to start with a letter now. All right, if you are seated in an F seat, so along the window, F, you are in play. Okay, F. 24F, 24F. All right, we're going to do one more. All right, if you are seated in E, you are F in play. 8E, 8E is a winner. All right, your email address is. We appreciate you flying JetBlue. Welcome to New York if you're from New York, and let's put our fingers crossed for some warm weather in New York. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.
I didn't win, but I'm in for a winning situation. Well, at least a semi-winning situation. We're approaching New York City from the south, and we'll be landing on runway 22 this evening with right traffic. However, once we approached the New York City area from the south, the controller issued us a 20-degree heading at around 4,000 feet, which places us directly over the middle of Manhattan. I was hoping for a clearance to just fly up the Hudson visually, or at least get a heading that would have us go up the Hudson. So I'll move forward to the point where we reach Manhattan on the 20-degree heading. At the bottom of the screen is the East Village. That's the East River with Brooklyn on the other side. The streets of Manhattan roughly run on a 40-degree heading, and we're on a 20-degree heading, so we're moving more toward the middle of the island, but we won't be able to see anything below us or on the west side, so our view is limited. We're coming up on the 23rd Street Marina, which is also a seaplane base. Across the river is the Newtown Creek, which separates Brooklyn on the right with Queens on the left. It's a very dense area down there, which is part of Long Island. We can also see the famous Coca-Cola sign in Long Island City as we fly over Midtown Manhattan. Our 20-degree heading moves us towards Central Park, and we can see the UN in Manhattan. We also have a good view of the 59th Street Bridge, which spans Roosevelt Island. The bridge itself doesn't have a stop on the island. A separate, smaller bridge allows vehicle access from the Queens side. At the bottom of the screen is the well-lit Citicorp Center building with its slanted roof on 53rd Street. You can see by the bottom of the window panel how more Upper East Side streets are being revealed since we're flying at a 20-degree angle to them. But unfortunately, we missed most of the big buildings because we're just too far east. Just being slightly to the west would have allowed for more to be seen. We can now see Randall's Island, where Manhattan, the Bronx, and Queens merge, and in the distance is LaGuardia Airport. We've moved slightly west, so the northeast corner of Central Park has been revealed. We need to circle the Bronx to get to runway 22, and at this point, the approach controllers are about to issue us a turn to 40 degrees. This is a 20-degree turn to the right and puts us 180 degrees from the direction of landing, which is 220 degrees. Once we complete the turn to 40 degrees, we'll be over the Bronx. We'll actually be on the western side of the Bronx, and we'll fly all the way into Lower Westchester County before we're told to turn right again. Here comes the turn to 40 degrees. I'll move forward to the next vector, which will be the right base leg, to 130 degrees while over Lower Westchester County. We're now starting our right turn to 130 degrees and are being cleared down to 2,000 feet. This turn has us cross Lower Westchester from the west to the east. Oh, and if you're a common viewer of this channel, you know that I typically provide the ATC audio. I used it in the making of this video, but the transmissions were less than ideal, so I'm just telling you exactly what the controller told us to do. And that includes a subsequent turn to 190 degrees so we can join the final approach course to runway 22. Let's move forward to that. We're in the turn to 190 to join the final approach course. Let's move forward to the point when we actually do turn to join the straightened approach. This is it, the final turn to line up at the runway. In a moment, we'll be back in the Bronx, and we'll follow its eastern side all the way down to the East River, which we'll cross, and then we'll land on runway 22. The approach controller hands us off to the tower controller, and we get clear to land on runway 22.
gentlemen, before we leave the plane this evening, let's give our CEO, Joanna, another round of applause. Thank you, Joanna.
One of the benefits of flying JetBlue to LaGuardia is that they go to Terminal C, and my flight passed under pedestrian bridges that connect the check-in and baggage claim area to the gate. I love this experience, but the flight is now over and it's time to arrive at our gate. All right, I'm off the plane here at LaGuardia. When I left LaGuardia, I departed from Terminal C, and it's been a really long time since I've been airside in this terminal. It's worth it.
All right, here I am in Terminal B. What a rarity for me. I'm so used to flying out of Terminal C all the time and into Terminal C. Very, very different.
It's going to be a really long walk to get out, but I'm doing it with a smile on my face.
Well, I gotta say, I truly did enjoy my experience on JetBlue, and to make it even better, the fact that the CEO was on board the aircraft and made some announcements and gave away prizes was just awesome.
It was a really great night for me, and there's more to come.
It's the old LaGuardia Tower. How I miss it.
But the good news does come with some less than good news.
Well, it happened again. New York Approach Control vectored us up the center of Manhattan. Why can't the TRACON just vector us up the Hudson River like the old days? I don't know why.
Do any of you think like I do? One of the highlights of the terminal is walking on the bridge that we were just under in an airplane.
This is pretty awesome. The ramp is below me.
While I'd love to linger here, I have someone to meet on the land side, and I don't want to keep him waiting much longer. It's been long enough already, and there's still more walking to do.
All right, everybody, here I am at LaGuardia Airport, and my dad is here to pick me up.
Yeah, strange enough, I showed up at LaGuardia today to pick him up. So it's a magnificent terminal here in Terminal B. Just outrageously gorgeous.
It sure is. It was a bit of a long walk, of course, from the gate to this area, but I'm satisfied. Well, anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me on this flight today from MCO to LGA on JBU. Remember that I'll be back again with many more videos like this. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button below, I invite you to click on subscribe, hit the bell button, hit the like button, and I'll be back with many more videos just like this. Thanks, everyone, and see you in an airplane. I miss that tower.